So we're back with part three. On this part, maybe we're going to talk about kind of everything that's gone on in the last week. We'll talk a little bit more in depth about it and kind of what's to come in the upcoming months. So first thing I want to speak about, especially with it regards to John's vocals that we've spoken about in part one and two. This time next week is when he gets honoured for the 2024 Person of the Year. Last night we got confirmation of who's playing it. So there's Bruce Springsteen, Shania Twain, Goo Goo Dolls, and obviously it's at Bon Jovi performing. Literally, while I was waiting for this to load again, it said that Music Cares, the event has never been live streamed before. So it gives time for almost any bad vocals or anything to kind of be edited. It was similar to the Hall of Fame because I think we got to watch it on like a live stream, didn't we? The Hall of Fame from like people filming it. But then when it actually came out on YouTube, it was doctored. Can you see? Well, firstly, I'll ask you two things. Can you see Richie performing with them next week? And two, what are your expectations in regards to how they'll sound and what they'll play?
Um, yeah, I can see Richie performing with them. And I hope he does because I think it would be nice as part of the 40th. I think I read somewhere that he might actually be handing the award over to John.
Okay.
Um, so there was right, I think it was almost 2 weeks ago now. There was somebody who broke the news that Richie was going to be there, that they'd put that it's expected that Richie's going to hand the award over. So I probably rephrase myself then. So if Richie's giving him the award, then it would be pretty cool. Um, if the band's there, I think it's got to be one of the big hits, whether it is Prayer. I I guess I'd quite like it to be Wanted Dead or Alive.
Yeah.
Just if Richie's gonna be there, just how iconic would it be that the 40th anniversary that you've got both of them just holding their guitars up? That was just going back to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was the thing that I felt was missing. That there was that beautiful little moment of When We Were Us, where they both shared a microphone.
Yeah.
But I just think it's such an iconic moment with John and Richie both holding their guitars up that it would be quite cool to see them do that. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see what sort of the other artists perform. Um, if Springsteen sings these days, I think I'll die a happy man. Um, Shania Twain, I can see her doing something off of Lost Highway.
Yeah.
Um, or Who Says You Can't Go Home,
That's what I
something like
think
that.
she really. Well, I don't know if you saw it this week. I'll try and find this photo now. But Music has actually put like a Bon Jovi CD up,
Ah,
or what they describe as it. And I try and find it here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 songs on this CD that they've posted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, maybe it can't be. So there was 9 songs that they put up, and the songs that they put up were "Living on a Prayer," "It's My Life," "You Give Love a Bad Name," "Always," "Bad Medicine," "Wanted Dead Alive," "Runaway," "Bed of Roses," and "Blaze of Glory." And
hmm
part of me was thinking, is that going to be the set list of the songs that the artists who are going to be performing? Is that what they're going to play? But it looks like there's too many artists to cover just them 9 songs, unless there's a duet with a couple of them.
I, I remember back in 2013, Springsteen got this award, and back then you did get sort of a live performance of, well, it was just released. Um, and it was cool because people were actually choosing, there was like the big hitters, but they were choosing songs that meant quite a bit to them as well,
Yeah,
which would be really interesting to see sort of what artists think are sort of
yeah,
well, what are their personal favorite Bon Jovi songs.
yeah,
And it'd be cool if it is like that we get, I don't know, somebody singing Hard Letting You Go,
yeah,
or
Imagine.
Something to Believe In, or
Yeah,
Goo Goo Dolls doing Love's the Only Rule.
yeah.
Like, but I do think it's going to be probably Prayer. It's My Life,
Yeah,
Bad Name, Always, that kind of thing. And yeah, it would be nice. I know when Springsteen did it, they actually did a mini set at the end. So I think they did 3 songs. And it'd be cool if it would give us an idea of what Bon Jovi of today looks and sounds like, I
yeah,
think. Um, and you'd probably then be looking at that if John's going to be doing Living on a Prayer, that you're probably going to get Bad Name to start it, and
yeah.
then something in the middle, which maybe a Lost Highway from him, or something which is less vocally taxing in the
Yeah.
middle, as long as they
Well,
don't do Limitless.
yeah. Well, what was it that they played at the Hall of Fame? Obviously, they played Bad Name, they played Prayer, they played When We Were Us. Was it just them three?
I think they did It's My Life as
It's My Life they
well.
did as well, yes, and maybe it'll be them three again then, because they won't play When We Were Us, obviously, but yeah, it could be Bad Name, It's My Life and Prayer again, maybe.
Or maybe it would be cool, in an ideal world, because it's about John, Runaway, but
Mm,
how's John going to sound on Runaway?
yeah. If it's about John, he
Um,
should play Santa Fe. Imagine that.
um, Blaze of Glory, and then yeah,
Yeah,
imagine though if they come out and do something like Thank You and Good Night.
yeah,
If there is something like that that
yeah,
you could, this is where we were talking earlier, that this is going to get a bit of publicity. That you could use this to launch something.
yeah,
Like, we don't know, like I say, how things are going to be. Like, how long is the 40th anniversary going to be a year-long celebration?
yeah,
Is it going to be, we're going to get everything at the first quarter, and then a tour's going to take the back end of
yeah.
things? I think there's just so many unknowns. I guess it's nice because we know, was it April that we get in the documentary?
Yeah, April 26th, I think.
So it would be quite nice, again, putting me into the shoes of sort of like Bon Jovi's PR department. It'd be so easy to keep it going throughout the
Yeah,
year. Um, Even if it's just deluxe versions of every album coming out,
yeah, yeah,
you could easily do that.
yeah,
But yeah, and that was cool. Like, to get a surprise deluxe album
yeah,
and being able to, Bon Jovi, the album has never been a favorite album of mine. It's one that I like, but it's never one that I would actively go and get out of like my vinyl or CD collection and listen to. Um, and it was nice to be able to stop and actually give that album
yeah,
a bit of airplay. And yeah, 6 versions of Runaway probably was a little bit too much, but again, that's the song that launched them, and it was really cool listening to the extended version,
yeah,
which the outro solo was really cool on
yeah,
there, and it does ask questions of, was it John? Was it
yeah,
Phil? Was it from the studio? Was it Richie back in the day, or or has Shanks decided to get himself on Runaway? Um, and that for me is now gone on. I've got a Bon Jovi playlist, and that has replaced Runaway on there, just because I think it's a really cool version. The alternative version, that was really cool to listen to. Um, and also the live tracks. We've heard them all before. Um, but it was really cool just to be able to spend time with that album and going into the experience. And what I like is, me as a greedy fan, I would love the experience just to be up and running and have everything on it from day one. Um, and then I would book a week's off of holiday, um, get my shopping delivered, and then just live on the experience.
yeah,
But being able to spend a bit of time on each album, like Fahrenheit's another album that I like, but again, it's not one that I'll spend a lot of time listening to. But being able to listen to sort of like the recording sessions, some outtakes, putting up a live bootleg. How cool is that? Bon Jovi have got a live bootleg of some of
Yeah,
these tracks, and the version of She Don't Know Me from there is only a small clip of it. Sounds phenomenal.
yeah,
And it was really cool just to live in that era and then go and have a look at pictures and going and being able to look at live performance from like John's early bands and just really enjoy that early period of the band. And it's going to be so cool. Like, and again, I guess I would kind of like some clarity on how it's going to be. That how is the experience done, or are they still working on it now?
yeah,
Is it going to be a gradual? Is next month we're going to get New Jersey and Keep the Faith,
yeah,
and then the month after we're going to get These Days and Crush?
yeah,
How's it going to look? Are we going to get more or less? And I guess this is my fear as well. Um, are they going to have the passion to keep it going?
yeah.
Because this could be something really special. And now, me and you are members of Bon Jovi forums, and like I say, we're quite active on Twitter. This has been the most positive that I
Oh,
have seen
yeah,
people be because it's about the music and it's been
exactly.
able to. Last night I was listening to the Cincinnati 1987 show,
Mm,
and that was amazing. I know
yeah,
it's been out on Sirius, but with me, if I'm lucky because some people do end up sending me some of the stuff,
yeah,
but I don't always get all of it. And that was one show that I didn't get.
yeah,
And I was just able to listen to that with headphones on and just be, it takes you back. Or even like listening to John's vocals from it was Australia at the end of the Slippery tour, and his vocals are done. But it was so cool for them to put that clip up,
yeah,
um, because it was just sort of showing John, and we all know like he was taking vocal steroids and all sorts of stuff. But what I'm so excited about is we kind of know the stories of the early albums, Slippery, New Jersey, what was going on in the studios, what outtakes were on there, because it was more of an open time and a lot has leaked and we've heard recording sessions. Keep the Faith, less so. By the time of These Days, it was very much everything was recorded in John's home studio. Um, so there's a lot of unknowns. And when we get to albums like the Circle, um, it's going to be so exciting to see what actually was done at
yeah,
that time. Um, a lot of people have sort of, because a lot of it comes from like hearsay and people that may have spoken to somebody, like for example with the Circle sessions, there was apparently a lot of friction that John wanted it sound one way, Richie wanted it sound another way, and what we got was a compromise. And again, that's through somebody on interviewing somebody in a secondhand information.
yeah,
But if we get actually a look inside the Circle sessions, who's to say that there isn't a really sort of heavier version of We Weren't Born to Follow?
yeah, exactly.
Um, and this is a platform that we can really enjoy. That me and you got so excited that Who Would You Die For is actually from the This House Is Not For Sale sessions. Both of us have said that's got to be from sort of the Circle sessions.
Yeah,
And these are the sort of things that we want to have discussions about.
definitely, yeah,
And this is what other people want to. And it's been nice to see like some of like the housewifey fans that are actually talking about how much like Fahrenheit and the demos from that
yeah,
has excited them. Instead of focusing on John's hairstyle, we're
yeah,
talking about, oh, there's a demo of a song called Solitaire.
yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. What did you think to that? And this is great for the fandom.
Oh, it is
And
definitely.
there's bits on there for everybody. There's for the fans that want the live side of things, like for us that want to know how a song that's developed. So being able to look at Living on a Prayer, which is one of my favorite songs in like ever, being able to look at the lyrics, to listen to like early versions, even though I've heard them before, but be able
Yeah,
to follow the story of that song. That
definitely.
is so cool.
Yeah,
And and I, it makes me want it for every song. I want to
yeah,
know
yeah,
how Happy Now was made.
yeah, yeah,
I want to know how Bounce was made, or like heart's breaking even.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so there's so much potential there. And because it was done by an outside company, I've got faith in it.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Um, and it isn't. I'm so excited for the Crush sessions.
Yeah.
Are we going to hear Six Cells?
Exactly. Yeah.
Songs that we've been like, there are songs out there that we've heard and known about for
Yeah.
years. When we get to Bounce, will we finally get to hear Mona Lisa?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if they put a paywall up and say, right, you get the experience as it is, but then you can spend 40, 50, 60, 70 quid for various levels, and it means you get more,
Yeah.
people will do it
Oh,
because there's real
100%.
value in it.
Yeah.
If they it, there is so much that they could do with this, and
Yeah.
it's so involving. Like, I was just looking through guitars, looking at what John was wearing, because that's how obsessive I am.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I love that sort of thing. But there is literally something on here, and what I thought was absolutely beautiful was how much like fan post and fan art that the band has kept from like the early days. Like, they have kept everything, and to be able to share that, and the message that we got from like John actually felt like it had come from John and come from him in the heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's been so nice as well, like we were talking earlier, there's little videos after when you click on certain bits of memorabilia, certain pictures, then there's little videos of all the members of the band. I've not come across anything with Richie yet. Um, and they're just talking about like moments in time. And that's what we want, because if we got John on like your podcast, we want to talk to him about like what was it like filming the Runaway video or the photo shoot. Don't care about Hampton Water.
Yeah.
There's a
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
cool thing where they've got the these days uh, sort of from the recording studio. So you've got where they've got the vocals, like the guitars, and you can buy it. So it's a chart. And
Yeah.
underneath, there's a video of John talking about these days. Like, these days is my favorite Bon Jovi album. John never talks about these days. And just to have like 2 minutes and 50 seconds or whatever it is of him talking about these days and reminiscing about it, it's amazing. That's and it comes across with such love, and that's what's been missing, because you can see John is proud of his band, of what he's done, and that's what my my wife, bless her heart, she goes to bed, I stick my headphones on, and I'm like, right, I'm going to be up for 2 hours
Yeah.
now, because there's so much for us to dig into,
Yeah.
and it's just so nice to see positivity around the band,
Yeah.
because it has been a negative experience since 2013. It's been Richie, it's been John's vocals, it's been questionable musical decisions. They've actually given us something that everybody can appreciate and
Yeah.
everybody can enjoy. Um, and it really does. It makes me, like, me and you have been like checking Twitter. Are we getting an announcement today? And you want it now. You feel like a kid at Christmas. You really do. Um, but the part of me is like, yeah, I want to wait a couple of weeks because I want to spend some time with Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday when I was out driving was the first time in probably 3, 4, 5 years that I've listened to Fahrenheit from the start to the end, because I just want to be in that Fahrenheit
Yeah.
era.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm going to enjoy doing that when we get to some of like the albums. Like, Crush for me um is not my favorite Bon Jovi album. I think it's got some great tunes on there. I think it's also got some middling tunes on there, so I'm going to enjoy being able to experience like that Crush era again.
Yeah.
And it opens up so many opportunities for like all of us to discover different things about the band. And if this is the end, what an amazing sort of, if you are a fan, like you're a new fan that discovers Bon Jovi in 3, 4 years' time, and unfortunately that was the end of the band. What an amazing time capsule to be able to go back into, and allows you to like live in different eras of the
Yeah.
band, and yeah, listen to a live show, listen to some outtakes, look at the lyric books, because like, man, I was just looking through like lyrics, and it's just cool for me to see John, like how he's wrote "Living on a Prayer." I've got a good friend of mine. He's sort of doing a lot of writing and recording, and it's like, yeah, that's cool, mate. And but to actually see like John being in this guy's shoes, like John of 40 years ago, writing, man, this is a piece of paper that he wrote "Living on a Prayer" on.
Yeah.
How amazing is that? Like, and being able to then be able to see that later on. So songs like I spoke about, "Happy Now" is one of my favorite latter Bon Jovi songs. If we're able to see like demos of "Happy Now," see how that came along, man, that's going to be so cool. Being able to listen to outtakes, if this is the route that there's been talk of a box set. Again, this is Bon Jovi all over. We kind of hear, oh, we're doing a load of work with um, outtakes and demos, and you're going to see that really soon. And then other people have said, oh, he's working on a box set. We've heard this, we've heard that. But there's never been anything from John,
No.
like where he said, right, in 2024, there's going to be a box set of unreleased stuff.
Yeah.
Is the market there for that? Like, when the last box set came out, yeah, there was a market for physical media. Now, is there a market there for it? Or do you get to a point there where you say, you know what, we've got loads of money. This is time to give back to you guys. Because how many people are going to spend 99p on, well, everything goes on streaming now.
Yeah.
So unless you're an Uber collector, like we would buy it.
Yeah.
And I would buy the 10 disc vinyl,
Yeah.
and or whatever deluxe version, and get it from Japan or whatever. But the average fan isn't gonna buy anything now because it's all on streaming. Um, so it's not even 5 years ago where, like, I don't know, Hurricane Butterfly comes out and it's 99p on iTunes. It's not. It's now on your streaming service. So Bon Jovi, if they want to make some money, they've got to do a Bon Jovi streaming. Like, I would pay a fiver a month.
Exactly, yeah, and that's kind of what I originally thought the JBJ experience was going to be, where it was £200 and you get kind of what we got this week. That's originally what I thought it was going to be, and
Yeah.
that's the one reason I never signed up, because I thought I'm actually going to see what it's like first, and if I want it, I'll get it at a later date. But
Yeah.
I kind of feel like I know the band that well, that I knew it was whatever they were going to start selling originally was never going to be worth it. And I can't really think of many things, if anything, really, that's made me go, I wish I got the JBJ experience for that. Now that they've come back with this week, you go, yeah, and they're giving this for free. Like,
Yeah.
why? Like, what have they fucked up? Or is this a teaser, as you said? And now we've had the first couple of albums where we've had some new stuff and obviously various other bits. When it comes to the new J, like the 2000s and these days and Keep the Faith and so on, do we have to pay for it? Well, I'm happy to pay for it now because
Yeah.
I know like what the template's going to be, and I know that a lot of work looks like it's gone into it. That's kind of the how I thought 2020 or whenever it was when they done the JBJ experience. That's what I thought it was going to be like. That the other day was a massive shock. And when you sent me the link, as I said, I was on my way home from Manchester. When you sent me the link, I was like, this isn't going to be for free. Clicked it, and I was like, oh my God, like, what the hell? And it was like, I felt like I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, because I was like on the way home and I had like my girlfriend and her sister in the back. I was like, I can't even play this now, and I don't want to sit here on my phone, but I just want to know what's. And like
Mm.
I've got this, like after this podcast, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to listen to as much as I can today. And I'm excited. It's the first time in a long time. Even 2020, I wasn't that excited about. It's the first time I've been excited to sit down and listen to Bon Jovi for a long, long time,
Yeah.
because I feel like the stuff that I've never heard, stuff that I never thought I would hear, the stuff that I didn't even know existed. Like, and this has all just come out the blue for free. And I'm like, what? How? Considering that, as you said, the box set's been in the works, and I'm going, okay, if it's going to be a box set, it has to be a big box set now. It's a big anniversary. They've already done one box set before. There must be thousands of other things they can put on. It looks like at the moment, it looks like we're getting a lot of stuff for free. And I'm not complaining, I'm buzzing with that. But kind of going like, why? Is as you said, is this kind of going to be all year round? Are we going to get what we got on Thursday night in stages? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's exciting, really is exciting.
But I just want clarity on it. I just want what I want more than anything is John with his silly little iPad sat in his chair and just saying, "Thank you very much for the last 40 years. Right, this is what we're giving back to you." So as you can see, here's the experience. This is us opening the archives. There's going to be this, this, and this. This is going to be going on for the next 12,
Yeah,
18 months because, yeah, nobody knows. Is this it? Like, is it now just all done and dusted and it just needs Matt every first
yeah,
of the month? He's going to click a button and another bit opens up.
yeah,
Um, I think that's what I just would like. I'd like a bit more clarity.
yeah.
I would like to know, right? I think everybody wants to know about a tour. Um, are we going to get stadium shows this year in Europe? I don't think so. It's too late now. We've missed the ball. There is the possibility of arena shows in America.
Hmm.
You pointed out that they announced tour dates in January and they were touring in April.
Yeah,
Um, it's seeming later and later, but it would be just nice to because Tico's mentioned a tour on a couple of occasions. Um, just to know a little bit more about it. Um, and it would be cool to know, are we going to get deluxe editions of each album? Because again, that could be a really cool way of selling selling things.
yeah,
I know people that have brought the album, brought a t-shirt already. And next month, are we going to get the Fahrenheit drop? And we're going to get Fahrenheit tour t-shirts and the
yeah,
slippery and the keep the faith. And there's so much potential and there's so much they can be doing.
yeah,
But it just worries me that it's Bon Jovi.
yeah,
That we've done the debut, that's all right. The experience will middle along,
yeah,
and then we'll get to the end of the year and it'll be like album tour. And we're
yeah,
like, okay, I just I want to believe in them. And I think
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
And and for the first time in a long while, I think they're going to do things right because, yeah, the debut, the deluxe edition was cool. Really enjoyed that. The experience is really cool. When the new album comes along, that's going to be really cool. But I think there needs to be like, is the 40th anniversary one thing, and then we got a new cycle,
Yeah,
or is the album part of the cycle?
yeah,
Like, and the only way we're going to get any sort of idea is if John does some interviews, which it really surprises me because he's not, there's not been any interviews for the 40th. You would have
no,
thought that you've got sort of your classic rock magazines, your
yeah,
NMEs,
yeah,
all of these sort of online sort of rock focused like Planet Rock, places like that. You would think that there would be a few more interviews with him.
yeah,
And it just worries me that is it just going to be a runaway experience in the next couple of months and we get our
probably,
information from there.
yeah,
Um, but I guess I'm just excited. Like I think I'm looking forward to the year in the sense that hopefully we've got loads of things to look forward to.
yeah,
Um, and lots of things for us all to talk about because last week we were talking about John's got a new haircut. And I said to my wife, I said, I'm literally having a conversation with a couple of people about John's haircut. And she's like, "Oh, why are you even doing this?" And I'm like, because news is that dead.
yeah,
And
it
now
is,
we're talking about Elton John playing
yeah,
piano on Living on a Prayer.
yeah,
Um, we're talking about live shows and it's exciting. Um, but yeah, I'm always going to be greedy and say I want to see more.
no, definitely. And I think, as you said there, I think it's almost because of the unknown, it's hard to kind of, you can't not want more because we don't actually know still what we're getting. I mean, we know there's going to be a new album, but then is there going to be a new tour? Is there going to be a box set, as you said? Is the documentary going to be a farewell to the fans? Is it going to be, are the band going to be bigger than ever again this year in terms of is John Bon Jovi, when he comes over to the UK for promotion, which I'm sure he will at some point. I'd be very surprised if he didn't do some sort of promotion. Is he going to come over and he'll be on, Graham Norton, or will he be on Planet Rock again, or Virgin Radio, Absolute Radio, whatever it is? Is he, is a Bon Jovi going to be a big name? Is there going to be posters? Me and you speaking, is there going to be posters around the UK again? They've already got them in Japan. So there is all these factors of kind of where else is this going to go? And with 3 weeks into January, obviously in December they announced the Monopoly, which was a really nice surprise. I love stuff like that personally. I think I love it. I absolutely love that. But I knew that wasn't going to be in. Everyone was like, oh, Monopoly. I was like, they're obviously not just going to bring out a Monopoly to celebrate 40 years. There's obviously a lot in the works. And in some ways, it's kind of nice that we don't know, because the surprise that we had this week was brilliant. With the fan club, the surprise with the deluxe edition was nice. I quite like the idea of kind of not knowing, but I'd also, as you said, like a little bit more clarity in terms of how much money am I going to have to spend at the end of the
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
I want that Ruby, as a collector, I want the Ruby, Bon Jovi Ruby edition. I want, when it comes to these days, or Keep the Faith or something, there is going to be t-shirts that I'll want, because I love that artwork and the whole style of that era. So I'm excited, but I'm also obviously skeptical of what we are going to get. We've got like 7.5 minutes of saying on here, so I'm going to ask you, what do you think we're going to get? If you had to sit down now and say, right, as much in terms of clarity, I actually do think this is what we're going to get. What do you think we're going to get?
Okay, I'm going to be controversial. I think we're going to get a lot more answers from the documentary about John's vocal state. I think we're going to then have a short tour, probably 15, 20 shows through Europe, through the US, ending in a couple of shows at New Netherlands. And I think then we're going to get a new album, which is going to be it. And I think that's going to be, I don't think there's going to be a massive tour after the album. I think it's going to be, here's the album. And I think your last song on your album is going to be Thank You and Good Night. And I think then that's going to be the end of the story of the band as a live sort of these like cycles that we've spoken about. And I'm not going to say that's the definitive end of the band.
Yeah,
But I think that's going to be it, unless some miraculous thing has happened with John's vocals. And I think that's what it comes down to.
yeah,
Would I love like we do the 40th anniversary this year, and then new album, and then next year we're talking about, oh, we've got a world tour coming. It's then going to lead on to more stuff.
yeah,
I I try and be realistic.
yeah,
Anybody who knows me says that I'm an eternal optimist. I can't see it. And it hurts to say that, because I want to see Bon Jovi like 2010 when I was walking around London, and they were everywhere. And then it was corny as anything. I don't like them going on the X Factor, but
yeah,
everybody I knew saw them on X Factor. Then they did like the evening with Bon Jovi on ITV,
yeah,
and they were there, and they
yeah.
were the biggest band in
On
the
top of the
world.
O2 Arena, on live on Sky
Yeah.
News.
And how cool did they look?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I want from John as well. I want John to look cool again. Ditch the Blanche look. Like it's it, it's cool him going grey, but he looks cool. This house is not for sale. Then promo shows when he come out all in black,
Yeah,
grey hair, he
yeah,
looked cool.
yeah,
And I just, that's what I kind of want from John as well. Like, because at the minute he looks like he's living his life, playing his tennis in Florida or
yeah,
wherever he's living these days.
yeah,
Um, but he looks like he's that.
yeah,
And I'm like, he doesn't look like the face of one of the biggest um, rock bands in the world. And it would just be cool just to, I think we've said before, I was watching the Dublin 2011 shows um, the other day, and John looks so cool.
yeah. It does. He
Like,
looks brilliant there.
and you want it to be me. I want it to be him. I go buy a leather jacket. I walk around like, right, what's John wearing? That looks
Yeah,
cool. How? No.
yeah, no,
Like, and that's kind of that's my feeling that I think we're gonna get a lot of celebration. I think we're gonna get a small tour. Excuse me. And I would love Richie to be a part of that,
yeah,
but I feel that would be a goodbye. Then I think we're gonna get an album to cut it off. Um, whether this cycle lasts this year or next year,
yeah.
I don't know. Um, what about yourself then? We must have like 2 minutes left.
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes. So I think obviously that apart from the things that we know, 'cause I think the album now, I think it's going to be called "Thank You, Good Night." And almost kind of like I know the circle was the album title, but when we were beautiful, "Thank You, Good Night" was there was a reason for it. And I think obviously the documentary was called that. So I think this time around, similar to yourself, either the last song is going to be called "Thank You, Good Night," almost like a way of saying to that, or it's going to be the album with a song called that. So I think that's going to be the case. I think there's going to be so much more that we don't know about that's going to come out. I really do, because that blew me away the other day, and I way they've been promoting so many things, saying Bon Jovi forward, Bon Jovi forward. There's got to be. You can't just be this. So there is going. I think there's going to be a lot more. Uh, I think there'll be. I don't think there'll be promo shows as such, but I think there'll be. I remember when John came over with the Runaway tour and done like Dublin. I think
Mhm.
there'll be that again. I think there'll be something like that again to go hand in hand with it, and he'll play one or two songs and give information, because that seems to be, as you said before, kind of the way he's giving us
Yeah.
information these days. Which is I'd sooner some news than no news, but to me, it's not the perfect way to go about it. But it's the first time, and I put it on the Twitter the other day. It's the first time in a long time I'm excited to be a Bon Jovi fan, and like I've enjoyed this week waking up, kind of going after you posted, as
Yeah.
message me, like, do you know what I mean? Is there anything that's new? And like I said, the CD the other day that come out, I was like, wow. When I finished that show the other day, and I got my phone out on the way home from Manchester, I was like, what? Like, what's going on? Like, I want that again. Do you know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
what I like, and I want to wake up one morning and like I did in 2019 and found out they were playing Anfield. Like that was one of the best things ever. Or 2018, I woke
Mhm.
up and found out, but that was one of the best things ever. Where I was going, they're playing my favorite football team's
Yeah.
stadium. Like it was unbelievable. That's kind of what I want this year. I want that excitement back, and I think I'm slowly getting there with it. I think I'm excited. I am excited again. I just hope it's fun.
Just got to keep the faith.
Very much so. Listen, mate, we've got a minute left, so thanks for your time. Obviously, I know it's a pain where we have to wait 10 minutes for the other video to post before I can actually invite you back. But thank you for your time, and hopefully we've got much more to talk about in the next few weeks.
Fingers crossed. Thanks
Yeah.
for having me on, mate.
Thanks very much. I'll speak to you later.
Top man. See you
Cheers.
later.
Thank you. See you later.